Welcome back, everyone, to Dead Talk Live. I am your host, Viz, and today we are joined by Samantha Sloyan and Ward Roberts, who are the stars of a brand new movie called Invaders from Proxima B, which is now streaming exclusively on Fandango at Home, formerly known as Vudu. Samantha Ward, that sounded like one full name. Samantha and
Yeah.
Ward, thank you for joining us today. Congratulations on the new film. I've seen it. This is a fun movie that the audiences are going to enjoy. How are the both of you doing today?
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for having us.
It is my pleasure. So, Ward, I want to start off with you. You're not only the co star of Invaders from Proxima B, you also wrote and directed this film. Tell us about some of the inspirations that made you write this screenplay.
Well, I certainly grew up in the 80s with E.T. and Alf and all of that just kind of in the DNA even before I knew filmmaking was a thing. Those are just movies that I loved. But then more recently, when I had my own children, I bought a couple puppets off of Etsy with the idea of making YouTube videos with my kids or really just playing with my kids and maybe we do a YouTube channel. And I kind of put them away and pulled them out a couple years later when the kids were a little bit older and we just moved into our house here in Glendale and it just kind of hit like an epiphany that we've got children, a house, a bunch of friends who are amazing actors and willing to do kind of whatever fun project we want to throw together. And so I was like, well, if we could really up the ante on this Etsy puppet and make it something special, that's everything we need to make a movie. iPhones had gotten to the point where you could make a movie on an iPhone, so away we went.
And I gotta tell you, watching this movie, when I saw your alien, the first thing that popped into my mind was Alf. It was Alf, and I loved watching Alf in the 80s. I grew up on Alf, so I'm so glad you said that. Now, Samantha, you play Jane Jenkins. You and Ward play a married couple. Jane is very different from the other characters that a lot of people know you from in your
Oh,
career.
yes.
What
Yes.
attracted you to Jane? What attracted you to the script?
Well, mainly the first thing that attracted me to the script is that it was, Ward had asked me to come play with everybody. And I've known a lot of the people involved for a long time. And just being able to work on something where the morale is high, the energy is high, everybody wants to be there, and everybody's having a good time, and making something that I think is just like a positive, happy, like fun movie,
Hmm.
which is so nice to be a part of because, things don't always break that way. So I think that was, again, having known Ward, if Ward asked you to do something, in my opinion, you should.
That's some good advice. Now, Ward, obviously Samantha just said that you guys known each other before this film. Did you write the character of Jane with Samantha in mind, and was she eagerly ready to come on board when you approached her?
Yes, I absolutely wrote it for Sam. When you know Sam, you love Sam, and you admire her work greatly, as everybody who's ever watched her act does. And Sam's not just like a big deal on TV and film. Like here in LA, she's got a great reputation as a theater actor too. Like Sam is an actor with a capital A. So you just feel so lucky that she's in your orbit at all, but still kind of self-conscious about being like, would you want to do this? Because, we don't have a lot of resources here, but the resources we did have was each other. The love for each other and belief in each other. And so knowing it wasn't just me asking Sam to do my thing, but that it was this group, this family of filmmakers who have done several together at this point. I wrote it for Sam. I wrote each of those roles for each of those actors because not only are they great actors, they're great friends.
That's awesome. Now, Samantha, this is your first lead role in a comedy, I believe. Did
Yeah.
that make you nervous at all?
Absolutely. I mean, like, I mean, yes. I think that people who, great comedic actors are just, to me, astounding. If somebody can make you laugh, to me, that's such a high level of artistry and connection and recognition in somebody. And yeah, I was terrified. I was scared, but and I was surrounded by actors who I think are hilarious. And so I was just trying to keep up and trying to, yeah, play it for real when I could to try and bring out the comedy in something
Well,
and
you did a
leaning as hard as I could on everybody around me.
you did a fantastic job. Not to
Thank
spoil
you.
anything, but you guys all get to chance to play each other's characters
Yes.
without revealing too much. Did Ward allow you guys to just let loose and have fun when you were playing him and when he was playing you and vice
Oh,
versa?
yeah. Yeah, I think it was, a just go for it mentality. It really with all of this, and there's a real freedom working with people you know and you love because you do feel that safety to be like, well, I'm going to try this. I hope it works, and I hope somebody stops me if it doesn't. Um, and that was kind of the feel for everything. So yes, when it came to those moments, uh, we just all kind of had at it.
Now, Ward, when you were presenting Chuck, your alien, to us as the puppet and whatnot, and as the movie progressed, was there a line with the comedy and the satire that you sort of wanted to keep it in the serious realm, or did you just want to throw it all out there, just put it all out on the table, and let everybody have some fun with this?
Well, if I'm understanding it correctly in terms of like I think, and it's part of the reason like Sam is so funny in this film, in this role, and I think everybody is that we actually weren't like trying to be funny so much as we were like committed to the story and the reality of what is happening. And I think maybe in the context of the screenplay and each other and this animatronic fur puppet, like it colors everything you do, but ultimately the stakes are very high for all of these characters. And I don't think we ever really winked at the camera knowingly,
Yeah.
and that it was the stakes were life or death, potentially the end of the known
Yep.
world and or universe. So with that, I think the comedy of survival was really the humor we were going for.
That makes perfect sense. Now let's talk a little bit about the father-son characters of Willie and Marvin. I in them I saw a little bit of a satire spoof of Men in Black. You know, the intergalactic police, the protectors of the planet. Is that what you were going for with them?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because originally I'd thought of Jay, who plays one of the Draconians, and Jeremiah, who plays the Exterminator, as basically Men in Black characters. And then I was thinking about, all my favorite people and where I could fit them. And then I was like, wait a second. How come nobody has made Mike Nelson and Richard Reilly father and son yet? They'd been in a movie together before, Bullet County, and I was like, the mustaches, the humor, like it's perfect. So then, I knew that Men in Black archetype needed to be turned on its head, but I kind of forgot that's where it came from until you just asked that question. So yeah, that's exactly what I meant to do.
I gotta ask you, the Hawaiian shirts they wear. Whose idea was that? Was that your
I
idea?
Yeah. I think the whole idea that they're gonna retire to Waikiki or whatever,
Oh, right.
it was just the absolute opposite end of the spectrum of like a black suit.
Now, Samantha,
Yeah.
now that you've done this comedy role, and it sounds like you had a lot of fun with it, as
Yeah.
your career progresses and your star keeps rising, is comedy something that you're more interested and open to doing more of in your career?
Oh, I would love to do more. And I've always been open to it. It doesn't very frequently find its way to me. And but I would love to. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, and
Let's do
Sam,
more.
I gotta ask you because you've been in all these blockbuster limited season shows. Was it
Yeah.
fun just stepping out of that role, out of that seriousness, and sort of the darker roles into this lighthearted, a funny movie where you can let your hair down and just be you and have fun?
Honestly, I mean, I find it all thrilling and fun, and I love the dark characters, and those are thrilling and fun in their own way. One of the things about this movie that was really exciting to do that I was happy about is a movie that one is really, my friends' kids can see it
Yes.
and not be afraid of me. And that I just think being part of something that has a real positive vibe and a positive
Hmm.
message, and it's just something you don't always get to do, and I love it, and when I see it I love it, and so being a part of it uh, for me was fantastic, and I would,
I totally
with Ward
agree.
I'd do it again a million times.
I totally agree. And Ward, I loved how you not only gave us this film, but in the end, it really had a touching story to it that the people are going to have to watch to find out. Now, I got to ask you this question, Ward. I've interviewed a lot of directors who have starred in the films they are directing. For you, how difficult is it for you to direct, especially a scene that you are in? Is there a method that you have? How do you go about handling that?
Man, I was freaking out the whole time we were shooting this movie, and I'm sure that was part of it. I really should have just realized that everybody helped get the script in shape, and then with this group of people, we couldn't go wrong. But I still was so freaked out every day that I was going to let down and disappoint and fail all these people who had put so much faith into the project. So while there was a great positive vibe amongst the cast and crew, I do kind of separate myself from that. And hopefully I just sort of had my own brand of crazy off in the corner that wasn't infecting other people very often. But, um, you know, as far as that goes, I didn't really have that much time to specifically think about it. And again, trusting Sam and Travis and Mike and anybody else who was around to like give me ideas or say, hey, maybe try it this way or that way. Not only with myself, but also if I was playing Chuck in
Yeah.
that given moment. So you just kind of have to rely on the folks around you. And it does help having spent that much time with the script, like you know what it's about,
Yeah.
like you know what's going on in this scene and what just happened and what's going to happen next. So you kind of then, on one hand you can't overthink it because you've got to figure out what's coming for lunch in a half hour and what are you going to do about one of the three lights that's now broken.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to worry about that stuff. Now, Sam, before we go, independent films run on a much tighter schedule. Money is a
Mhm.
constriction and whatnot. How much time did you guys have to shoot this?
Oh, Ward would know better about that, but we were working in a heat wave. We were working inside a hot house in Glendale. And in retrospect, it was, a great time had by all, but in the moment it was real hot. But what was our shoot schedule, Ward? How many days did we do?
So for principal photography, I believe we had 20 days.
Hmm.
That sounds
And
about
then
right. Yeah.
then we did pickups and reshoots, which totaled about 5 days. So I think all in all, we're at like 25, 26 days.
Well,
Yeah, felt that. Yeah.
congratulations to you both. I want to thank you both for coming on our show and talking about this film. Again, everybody, the movie is called Invaders from Proxima B and is now available for streaming exclusively on Fandango at Home. For those of you unfamiliar with Fandango at Home, it's what used to be called Voodoo. So check it out. It's there. It's streaming right now. I want to thank all our viewers for tuning in. On behalf of Samantha, Ward, and myself, please everybody stay safe, stay walking. Bye, everybody.